Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Normal World. The Yankees have announced that they will no longer play Frank Sinatra's New York, New York after their games. However, Cardi B's Wet Ass Pussy will still be played during the seventh inning stretch.
That's good. That's some culture.
There she is. Right there. That's her. That's the one that met the last president.
Yep.
Welcome to Normal World. I'm Dave Landau.
I am Black Garrett, and with us, as always, is our in-studio slave, Angela.
Oh, yeah, no.
There you go.
Appreciate that.
You don't want to go with
Are we the slaves? Maybe we're the slaves. Maybe we have this backwards.
I don't know what our dynamic is.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know.
No one does.
Joining us today is the great friend of the show, Matthew Marsden.
Ow!
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Dave,
Thank you for coming.
where can people find you? I know you're doing shows out there in the world right now.
I'm out in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. If you're in the area, you can come by there. Or you can come and see me on the 22nd at the Roxy in Rochester with Mike Loftus and Matt McClowery.
Oh, that's a good show.
Sorry, Don Jameson. Don Jameson.
Nice.
Matt's
Sounds like
on
a drink.
feature-
I feel like I can order the
Don
Don
Jameson.
Jameson. For sure.
Don and Jameson.
Yeah,
You could.
I could do that. Matt, if people want to see you, where can they see you?
On Normal World tonight.
That's right.
Yeah, I've got my little thing going on. I'm Matthew D. Marsden on the YouTubes.
Go subscribe. What
Yes.
are you doing? If
Yes.
you're not subscribed to Matthew, go subscribe. He'll be in the description down below. What do you guys want to
Do it
talk about
up.
today?
Well, we got movie season Oscars,
That's right. We
Isn't
brought
that
our
coming
expert
up?
in.
Yes.
Yeah, you brought a guy who's been in actual movies.
Yeah,
Like real actual
like
movies.
actual ones.
Yeah, like real actual movies. Like movies like Black Hawk Down. What's your favorite movie you made?
Oh, that's difficult. I think it's got to be either Black Hawk Down or Rambo.
Too. Yeah.
Or Rambo.
Yeah.
I
That's
like
a really- I
Transformers
wish-
as well.
Yeah.
Transformers is great. Transformers was great.
First one's the best one.
Yeah.
I wish
well, I
I
was in
had
the
to
second
choose
one.
I know. I'm just saying, I like the first one. The second one is the one with the balls,
It is the one with the balls.
which is classic. I mean, you can't deny it. It is classic.
Yeah.
I like the
You
Shia
can
LaBeouf
deny
ones.
it.
I like the
You
Shia
can
LaBeouf
deny
ones.
that's a class. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf was.
I think
the
they're bringing
better.
him back. Did you hear
He's
about that?
great.
Are they?
Listen, I'll tell you this. Like, he was one of the nicest people you could ever meet. Seriously. Just super, super nice.
He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
is.
people really don't give him credit where he deserves. Like, have you seen Honey Boy?
So good.
Yeah,
So
that was really
good.
good.
Based
The
on his
peanut butter.
experience growing up
Yeah.
on the set of Even Stevens and stuff. Like his
Oh,
relationship
yeah.
with his dad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get picked by Michael Bay and especially Steven Spielberg, because Spielberg had him in Eagle Eye and in Disturbia. So you don't get picked by probably the greatest director of all time unless you've really, really
Michael
talented. Yes.
Hey, Michael Bay is really good. If you compare him to anybody else that's making movies right now, he's kind of up there.
Oh.
He's up there in his quality. Like
13
Bad Boys
Hours
movies,
is
come on.
fantastic as well.
Oh no,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's Kubrick compared to anything that's gone to Netflix.
Look, people try to talk trash about Michael Bay.
I
but
was
he's got
teasing.
some
I don't
good
want to
stuff.
ruin a career here.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm sorry. Matt loves Michael Bay. He's always going on and on about how good he is.
Constantly, on
the
and off
time.
camera, all the time. Can't get him to shut up about it. But
No, the guy
Oscars,
knows how to make a dollar. That's for sure.
Yeah.
the
And
Oscars
The
are
Rock,
out, man.
He made The Rock.
Dude, The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
That's
The Rock is a fun movie.
a secret 007 movie.
Is it?
You know that theory, right?
Yeah.
That he is playing James Bond just later on in life. I love that theory. I subscribe to it. It is.
I like
it is
that.
truth.
That does make sense because he is locked in Alcatraz.
Right.
But there was also Escape from Alcatraz, but that was Clint
Well,
Eastwood.
that's different. Yeah.
I'm gonna have autism in my own head now. Never mind.
Spending
Do
too much
you.
time with Matt.
Alcatraz.
I'm just fascinated by his career, so I have to ask questions. Sorry.
Who, Bay's or Sean Connery's?
Sean Connery was. Sean Connery's in that, right? And well, Michael Bay directed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I
Sean
thought.
Connery is the later in life James
Bond.
Bond, and that's like the continuation of his character. And Sean Connery really wanted to. He loves that character because he went and made his own James Bond movie that was like not approved. So I feel like this is an even more departed James Bond movie.
Yeah,
that's not approved.
Was it
by the
Medicine
Broccoli's.
Man?
No, he did It was in the 90s or the 80s? I think it was the late 80s. They did a James Bond movie that was not officially.
Was it Never Say Never Again?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, and he was like, he was getting up there in his age, playing the character still, but it was like not a Broccoli production, I believe. Broccoli's were the
which nothing is anymore.
Yeah, they just gave up. They gave it to Amazon. So get ready for the Penny show and LGBT James Bond characters because that's what they want to do. That's what they wanted to do.
So can I tell you a quick claim to fame?
Yes.
Please.
I actually,
being on the show?
Hey?
Being on this show?
Being on the show. No, when I very first came to Hollywood, I got a call and they were like, hey, listen, they want to meet you on this James Bond movie. And I was like, oh, snap. And it was the one, do you remember with the Korean guy who had the diamonds in his
Classic
face?
Korean
That's
James Bond.
Yeah.
So they called me up and I was flying, this is a real showbiz thing. I was literally flying out of Heathrow Airport and they called me up and they were like, listen, we're going to send a car for you. Come and meet Barbara Broccoli. So I went and met Barbara Broccoli. I went to the 007 stage, which for me as a Brit, it was just like
That's
unbelievable.
holy ground.
And it was Lee Tamahori. It was the director, and it was really weird because he goes, okay, say your lines. And he was walking around me like that.
The director.
And I was like, this is really weird. And so what's his name got it instead? The guy who he's a great actor. The guy who did Lost in Space.
The actor?
Stevenson.
Yes.
Is it Stevenson?
Yeah. Are you talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he
Die
did this
Hard?
actually.
Toby Stevens?
Toby Stevens.
He
Toby
does
Stevens.
the narration of Casino Royale. They did a bunch of new James Bond audiobooks, and he did one of those. And he's really good.
But it was a thing for me.
I was thinking you were going up for James Bond.
You know what, though?
If I was casting.
It's one of those moments, because that was Brosnan, right? And it was one of those moments where, honestly, in my career, at my stage in my career, I was like, do I really want to do this? Because I really wanted to have a shot at the title, and that didn't work out. And
I think that was the last Brosnan movie, wasn't it?
I think so. It was the one with Halle Berry in that everyone remembers.
Yeah, where the Korean fellow goes, he goes whiteface.
Yeah.
He becomes a white man.
Yeah, that's right. He does.
Yes.
I think
character
it's
if you got that part. But yeah, I would have thrown you in the hat there for sure for the next Bond. That would be great.
I would have loved it.
But then you would have been stuck with the Daniel Craig storyline, which is not a good storyline.
Casino Royale, however, is a very good movie.
Casino Royale, so good.
It's a good film.
I don't understand it. Can I say so? Okay, I watched Casino Royale for the first time, like maybe last year, and I was like,
And you had a religious experience?
No, I was like, this is just a long poker game. Like, that's it.
Maybe it's just a man thing.
It's just there's so few action scenes in it. You expect it's just a long poker game in a hotel, and then he gets knocked out, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's
There's
funny
love in there. You didn't attach to the love. There's a Vesper. She was,
I think it's funny that they're all in tuxes at a casino because I'm at the MGM Grand right now, and I assure you that is not the attire of anyone here.
It was a different time then. It was a different time.
I think it's supposed to be the now times, but they're not just wearing cut-off shorts and wife beaters. And punching machines. That would be way better if he had to be James Bond in a modern casino.
That would be amazing.
And there's all those like blue-haired old women like checking him out. Listen, I think that the way to go
Final boss.
the way to go would be to have Henry Cavill come in and play a hard-drinking, womanizing, hard-fighting dude. Like just go back to the OG. And have like smoking hot women in it, and because that's what everyone wants to see.
It is exactly what everybody wants to see.
Yeah,
but we're not going to get it. So.
I like the old James Bond, some of the old James Bond, but I'm just not a James Bond fan like everybody else. Not that I'm against it, but I'm kind of like where Angela is. Like I only like certain movies.
Yeah.
I do like Dr. No. I think just because it's the first one.
Yeah.
But GoldenEye, that was a great game, but the movie, I was like, I'm going to go outside This is awful. Like, you're skiing in a tux, which is fine in True Lies, but I just don't. No.
Come on.
Great. I'm not a big spy movie guy, I guess, is the thing.
Have you read the book, though? Have you read the book?
Spy I know kids, and I'm jacking off. What were you saying?
I know you're an avid book reader. Have you read the James Bond books, the Casino Royale book? It's a short, like, novella almost, but it's fantastic.
No,
it's so good. It's so good.
I've never read any of them. I didn't. Which ones do you think are the best then?
Casino Royale. It's the first one.
Okay.
It's the first one that sets up the James Bond character as a spy. He's hard at that point, but he's still got some humanity left in him. And by the end of the book, he turns into the James Bond that you know and love from the movies and all that stuff.
I think it would be a giant success if they did that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, have you read the like Parker novels, the Richard Stark novels?
No.
Like The Hunter, and like they've tried to make movies about it where you had like Parker with Jason Statham, but the books are incredible and they're like really fast reads, and for some reason they've just never really made a good movie out of it. Robert Redford was in one in the 70s, but I think they're still trying to figure that one out, but that could be like a Bondish character. You should go out for it, Matt. I think we should make one.
We were just
talking about doing a movie here. I'm just saying, we were talking about it. I said that we need you guys to do like a Shaun of the Dead type movie.
I love this idea.
I love it already. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's so great.
So look out, Normal World fans, because maybe there might be a movie coming your way.
Let's do it.
I think we should.
We should totally do it.
We need to do a movie. I think we should. It's not like there's a whole studio there or anything.
No. We could do it. We could like shoot it in our garage.
Yeah. Let's make a movie. Let's do something.
Listen, Dave, I'm dead serious.
Me too.
No, so am I.
Let's do it.
I'm 100%. I've made a movie. I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, you've been in movies too, and I've made one.
You've made one. He's been in them. We could do both of those at the same time.
Yeah.
We could get an Oscar.
No, we won't.
No.
No, we won't.
Well, speaking of the Oscars,
One of us could wear a dress. I think that's enough.
High competition with Amelia Perez this year.
Oh, yes.
Because that movie leads the 2025 Oscar nominations.
13
nominations. It's actually, Garrett was saying, tied with Gone with the Wind for the most amount of Oscar nominations.
More Oscars than Lord of the Rings, any of them. More Oscars than Schindler's List. So it's going to be a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it and you want to die,
here's a clip.
There you go.
Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation.
Men to woman, or woman to men.
You got to be kidding.
Man to woman.
No penis to vagina. Adam's apple reduction.
Yes.
You got to be.
He also has a racist voice.
Penis to
tie
vagina.
To tie together the whole penis to vagina song.
I've seen that clip too many times. I can't believe you've not seen this. You're on so many shows and you cover stuff. Have you not seen this?
I have never seen that. That is.
Do you remember Schindler's List? About the Holocaust and Ray Fiennes was saving people from dying in gas chambers. Mm-hmm. This has more awards possibly given to it than Schindler's List.
It's a musical.
Also, than Gone with the Wind, where I think they only had Gone with the Wind up for an Oscar.
Yeah,
that is true.
Were there 2 other movies
from 3 years ago?
I'm genuinely shocked. Like, that is appalling.
It's a wild movie. It's a wild movie. It's a movie about a drug lord that wants to stop being a drug lord. So then they hire Zoe Saldana to find a doctor for him to have a sex change. He then has the sex change. That's where she was there. She was getting a consultant. She was like, how do you do this? And he's like, what do you want from penis to vagina? Yes. So then they do that. They have the operation. He then fakes his own death because he's dying. He's becoming a woman now. He tells his wife that obviously he's dead. He fakes his death. She thinks he's dead. She goes off to another country. Then 6 years pass. He comes back as a woman and then infiltrates his wife's family as a nanny.
So it's
Mrs. Doubtfire.
It is Mrs. Doubtfire, yeah.
Infiltrates as a nanny and then finds out that
He
Zoe...
went full post-op.
He did the whole thing. He was committed. And then
the scene where he plays guitar with a broom.
Then
Sorry,
his
go ahead.
wife is dating another guy because, of course, she is. It's 6 years later. She's moving on with her life.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. She thinks he's dead. He gets really mad about it. So then he confronts her. They have a fight. He overpowers her because, of course, he does because he's a man.
Does she know this is her husband? She knows.
At this point, yes.
Okay.
They confront. She's like, "Oh," as if we don't know. She's like, "No, this can't be you. You're dead."
But he's angry at his wife because he was a drug lord who
Yes.
decided to have a post-op surgery, and she went and messed around 6 years later.
Yes. Yeah. So then
hose aren't
then she
loyal.
runs. Then the wife kidnaps the lady man, and then they all die in a crash, and that's the movie.
Is it a parody? Like,
No,
it is-
it's 100% real. It's so weird. It is the weirdest freaking movie ever. And I had to watch it. The reason I know, because I know chat's like, why do you know all this? I had to we made a video on Nerdrotic about it, so I had to watch it in like slow motion, basically,
Oh,
getting
no,
clips and stuff.
I'm going to watch it. Don't you dare apologize to the audience. That is absolutely
It's
amazing
wild.
that somebody pitched that and a room of people were like, all right, and how many millions of dollars do you need to make this?
Dude, you have not. That is absolutely perfect because people don't understand the levels that you have to go through to get a movie like that greenlit. And then who sends it? Imagine, like, you know, Zoe Saldana, who I love, by the way.
Yeah, she's great.
She's great. Yeah.
She's amazing. The agent calling up and going, I've got this great movie for you. And then pitches that.
Just
And
wait.
she's like, I'm in.
Green like that now. I forgot
and
that
they're
she
like-
went off and had another relationship with a woman because she starts an NGO. She goes back. He goes back to Mexico, I assume, and starts a nonprofit that connects families with their dead bodies of people that were murdered by the cartel that this person ran. Then
How
she
could you
finds
run
a woman that
non-profit in there.
I don't know. She finds a woman that
It's the cartel
got murdered.
It's non-profit.
and then starts a relationship with her because
And then she goes
she
to
gets mad.
Africa and she
punch that like button.
she gets a orphaned African child
Yes.
and then brings them back. I mean, you can just
That's
like
the sequel.
Are you?
That's the sequel.
You know, what
Really
you should do
progressed,
honestly for our movie. We should just put as many like ridiculous things like that in it.
In the
just
movie,
put it all together and just go whatever. We're making it.
Well, I think we have to add
Oscars, I
to
think.
like, and it's a musical.
Yes, and
Like, that'll be the
I'll
part
be the
two.
ghost director.
Yeah.
Or the you know, I'll be the woman director, but somebody else will be really doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll
No,
take
but
all the
you
credit.
can't be
We'll
the
cast
director.
you.
Okay.
You can't because you got to be a man that is a woman.
Am I gonna
So
have
if
to?
you get a sex change to a man
We'd
and then
probably be more
back-
likely to win an award if I did.
No, you totally would.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Because you got to be. Don't forget, the Oscars have categories now. You've
That's
got to
true,
have
yeah,
a certain
there's
amount of
checkboxes.
diversity.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
What's your man name?
It's Angelo.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Angelo's good.
Yeah.
Angelo's. It's,
You had
it's
that
really.
right there at the top.
Or David Wesley.
And then you.
That was supposed to be my name. I was supposed to be a boy, and my name was
Oh,
going to be David
okay.
Wesley. So,
It's a pretty good name.
Well,
not bad.
I think Dave's a really good name. You could be post-op Dave.
Okay.
You can just go gain 80 pounds. And then, yeah, it'll be great. I'll be the drug lord.
Less than 80. For sure.
No, I think you're the police.
So, Dave, what do you think the lowest viewership of all time?
Oh, easy.
It's got to be, right?
Easy.
This year?
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know. It's been hard to beat the consecutive downward spiral of the Oscars. I would imagine this is going to be. They're going to make up numbers, I think, at this point.
I think the only thing that can really save it is that Conan is hosting. And I only want
Is
to
he?
watch. Yeah, Conan is hosting.
Yeah.
And I
Gee.
love. I feel I will watch it because of that.
I may watch it because Conan's hosting.
But
as
if
well.
it was any other host, I
Interesting.
wouldn't, and
Yeah.
Are you guys doing you should do a show at the same time.
When is it? It's a
Yeah.
Sunday, right?
I would do
think.
that.
Yeah. I think it's this Sunday night.
Hey, Dave, do a show and we'll do shots every time they do something DEI.
Oh my god.
I don't drink,
That's
but
too
I mean,
much.
I'm willing to die.
You can watch me drink then.
Yes, I'll watch you. I'll do it from the comedy club I'm at, which I imagine will be full because no one will be watching the Oscars.
Have you seen any of? I've watched one of the movies on the list, but have you seen any of these movies that are on
Let's
the Best
name 'em.
Picture? So we've got Honora. No idea.
I just worked with a girl from Honora at the Comedy Store. She was very
what is it about?
cool.
Do you know?
I don't know. I just she seemed nice.
Perfect.
I hope that does all right.
It's a modern day Cinderella story.
Okay. The Brutalist, which is Oscar bait Holocaust movie with Adrian Brody. So that's probably
it's the
up
Pianist 2.
there. Yes, of course.
Yes.
Back
A
in
Complete Unknown, which has Timothy Chalamet, which is like the freaking prince of Hollywood right now. He's getting all the Oscar, all the awards
Dune
and stuff.
also is nominated.
He's in Dune as well. He's in 2 movies, Best Picture. I like Timothy
That's
Chalamet. I think he's pretty good.
That's
So,
the Bob
maybe.
Dylan movie. I know that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I would
Enclave?
see that.
I don't know that one.
No.
That one I'm not sure about. I think it's some kind of Catholic thing.
It's about the apparently they elect a transgender pope because
the
of
movie?
course you do. I think so. I mean,
Let me look.
Is Voldemort playing the transgender pope?
I don't know.
Do they sing a song?
As the resident Catholic on the panel, I didn't see that bullshit.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
call.
also a Catholic,
Oh.
and I can't. I couldn't tell you. I know that there wouldn't be a lady pope.
Probably a good call.
That's
I don't
that's
know,
a big-
dude. I don't know
That's
now.
a big part of our religion is not respecting women.
Have you seen all the sparkly women that are priests now?
Sparkly?
Yeah,
I think
they have
they're-
like glitter and stuff and fake
I think
beards.
it's like Lutheran.
Is it? Those-
Like I don't think it's. I don't know if I don't
Heathens.
think you can be a female priest, can you?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know. Check the internet. Check the internet.
you can be a nun. Learn
you can
that
be a
from
nun.
Sister Act.
Dune Part 2. Did you watch Dune Part 2?
I did.
I watched
Yeah.
that one as well. I liked
good.
it a whole lot.
I think it's a great film.
I think Timothy Chalamet did really well presenting as a man in that film. So
You know what's
Yes.
funny about that? People forget that we waited for that for so long, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be Dune. It's going to be," and they actually nailed it. I think. Anyway, they did a great job.
Yeah.
And of course, because it's really good, it's not going to win
No.
anything.
it's a sci-fi. It's
Yeah.
it's a sci-fi fantasy, so it's not likely to get it. But Timothy is in it.
Well, and also on the
So
list,
maybe.
The
And
Substance,
Zendaya.
The Substance, which Timothy Chalamet is also in.
Wait, he's in
What?
it too?
He's the hot
Yes.
chick.
Are you serious?
She just
Yep.
has his face.
Oh.
Every time I see that girl,
was
she
about
has
to
the
say,
face of a Timothy
No,
Chalamet.
no, it's him, Angela. I'm with,
I knew it.
I watched the whole movie. I'm like, that's him.
That's kind
I'm
of
like,
wild that a horror movie is
I'm so excited
for
to
Best
see
Picture.
it. Very excited to see it.
It's
interesting.
interesting because it's such a parody of Hollywood too, and how shallow they are.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting that that's the one that they
They
picked.
probably didn't realize that.
I
Probably
guarantee
thought
you
it
they
was
did.
true. I've got to watch
Yeah.
it. I've got to watch
Oh,
it.
it's fantastic.
I
Demi
like
Moore,
Really?
Demi Moore's nominated for the first time in her career
really
for Best Actress. yeah.
Really?
not for
Yes.
I hope-
striptease. She didn't get one for that.
No.
I thought it was a great
She
film.
should have.
Come on, it's a classic.
One Crazy Summer she should have as well. So let's just go ahead and give her the award.
Well, she finally showed her butt and boobs, and let's give her the award.
Striptease.
Striptease,
I'm
too.
still here.
Yeah.
Never
she
heard of
looks
that.
great.
Don't know that. I'm
never
still
heard
here.
of
Do you
it.
know that one?
Yes, I saw I'm Still Here, but I don't remember. I don't even
Well.
remember what it was about, but I watched it.
Nickel Boys, which I think is you were saying it's like a 1960s.
Two
Racial
young
thing.
black boys are forced into a reform school in the
Yeah,
60s
so
in Florida.
Oscar bait. Totally gonna get it. And then Wicked, which I did not see, but I've heard is good from people that
I
like.
heard it's very good.
Yeah, I've heard that all the people in it are really good and the music's good or whatever. So,
Do we have any predictions?
oh man, I feel like Wicked's kind of at that level of La La Land, where it's kind of like the whole Hollywood-ish kind of gay dance
People-
music.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
La La Land still lost.
Good point. Good point.
As it should have and been forgotten. As,
I
as
like
well as The Artist, which is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Oh
and
my
that-
God,
Best
that movie
Picture.
is so bad.
It's
I
so
watched it.
terrible.
Everybody was saying it was so good. And I watched it. I was like, what is this?
I hated that film.
Horrible.
Dude, Meatballs 4 with Corey Feldman is a far superior film to The Artist.
That's a better story and character arcs.
It does.
What is that movie?
That movie made no sense. It was just nonsense.
It's like Amelia Perez. I think every time they throw in a wild card, and sometimes we have more wild cards than normal, but I think that was one of the wild cards, and Amelia Perez is this year's wild card. It's just the weirdest freaking crap that only appeals to people at Sundance, and they're like, well, let's put it up there. Best picture? I don't know, I guess.
Isn't Wicked, though, like they're talking about, at least this is from... I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it. Some black friends of mine. I said it. It's very satanic.
Is it?
What?
Yeah, like they
The
don't want to
Wicked
bring
movie?
their kid. Yeah, they didn't want to bring their kids to see it, and I've seen
It's
the
not
play.
satanic. I've seen it.
They're witches.
I don't know. I heard that there's a satanic element that people don't
guess
like
so.
about it.
Is there? I don't know. I don't know what the story is, so
It's
maybe.
just no. There's no witches. I mean, they're witches.
They are witches.
They are
It's a whole
witches.
school of witches.
Well, then fine.
the
Then Harry
Wizard of
Potter's
Oz.
satanic.
Well, people do say that Harry Potter
prequel,
is
right?
satanic.
I wasn't allowed to read it growing up,
Yeah.
so
I remember that back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
is
never
Wicked
read
something
it,
like
but-
that? I don't know.
I saw the play. I think it's a prequel to Oz.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
right.
The play is exactly the same as the movie.
Isn't there like a lot of sex in it? That's what I heard. I heard that
There's no
there's,
sex
in the book.
There's
Oh, yeah.
There's a book, and then they made a play musical, and in the book there's like a lot of bumping happening.
Really?
the idea is the
a kid's
good
book.
witch isn't so good, and it's kind of into the eyes of like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
And then they scissor to trombones for a half an hour.
All right. Is it like Paradise
Yeah,
Lost,
hell yeah.
but Wizard of Oz?
Our lesbian chimed in, I think.
Yeah, because I didn't see sex in it, but I must have gone up and went to the bathroom during that part. I would have
In
stayed.
the book. It's in the book. That's what I heard.
Why would you add that?
Ask Stephen King.
It's in the book.
Did Stephen King write it?
Is it probably the only time that Hollywood did something and took sex out of it?
Maybe.
Well, not
Normally
the
they're like putting it in.
They're like the green paint's gonna get everywhere. If we
It's
do
gonna
these
be
Yeah,
things.
it's just not going to be good. It's going to wear off.
It's gonna be a real mess. We already tried with her with the other Star Blaster movie.
Oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Starburst.
Also
know what?
starring Zoe Saldana.
It is funny though. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the. Apart from Dune
Yeah.
and maybe Wicked. I mean, I know about Wicked. Mainly know about Wicked because of the horrendous interviews.
Oh my God. I have feelings.
It's just
human.
like, shut your mouth.
Clack, clack, clack.
But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. As an actor, all you're meant to do is sell the movie.
Right.
That's it. Turn up, do your job, and then don't make it all about you. Make it all about the film. And it's just the right thing to do. That if you are there, you stand there like when we make our movie, I will tell everyone how great you are.
Thank you. Thank you. You're not going to sit down and have like a struggle session and.
No, I'm not going to come out.
I think that's what the kids want. That's what the Gen Z audience is looking for.
I'd be like, I might have 9 kids, but I'm gay.
Live your truth. Live your truth.
Yeah.
Wait, what? He just said he's gay.
Hey, I'll
This
get back
means-
into Hollywood.
That's true. You get the calls again.
But I don't. I look at that and there's nothing there that I want to see. Right? I mean, if you go back,
really
what's
just
really
Dune.
interesting? What's really interesting is if you go back through the Best Picture winners, and you can see like the 60s was excellent, actually. If you look at the movies, believe it or not, the Best Picture in the 60s, you had The Sound of Music. You had A Man for All Seasons. If you haven't seen A Man for All Seasons, you got to go see it. Have you seen A Man for All Seasons?
No.
It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Dave, have you seen it?
I have.
It's incredible.
Yes, it is.
And it won, I don't know how many Oscars it won, maybe 8 Oscars.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Less than Amelia Perez will.
It's just unbelievable.
Well, even the 70s, I mean, you had great movies. Godfather, there were
Right.
things that were contenders, and a lot of those movies were up at the same year as other huge films. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think Demi Moore should win
I think so too.
for Best Picture, because she was really good in it.
That's a
and
good
I mean,
point. I haven't watched that movie, but I've heard so many great things about it.
Her performance is amazing.
she's fantastic.
She's fantastic. It's just wow.
The problem is when you get to that level, you are very good, right?
Yeah.
I know it sounds silly, but it's like if you watch like soccer players real top soccer players, all they'll do is they might no, I'm not talking about like Messi, but they'll take the ball down, they'll pass the ball, right? And they're part of the team. With someone like Demi Moore, it's a similar thing. Like you're really, really good, but you can only rise to the level of the movie and the other people around you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sometimes those roles are more flashy. Sometimes it's just like get out there and do your job, turn up there and be on point. And that's why a lot of times, especially someone like Demi Moore, who was very beautiful, or is very beautiful, she's going to get those roles, right? They're going to put her into Ghost. They're going to put her into, Striptease, G.I. Joe. They're going to push her towards those things. And now she's further on in her career. Now she can go into stuff that has a lot of meat on it. Yeah, it's got real. But they have always had. I've maintained this, that there's every actor in Hollywood, and then there's Daniel Day-Lewis and Gary Oldman. Mm. Yeah. And that's it.
They're apart for sure.
Yeah, they're on a different level. Everyone else is, around and about the same level. It just depends on if you've got an amazing director, you've got the right material, and they catch you right, and it's the right gig for you. So she hasn't all of a sudden become a fantastic actress.
Oh, yeah,
right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but that's interesting. It's important for people to know that when they look back on people's careers, because you have someone like Daniel Day-Lewis, he constantly got the same role. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be a very difficult role. It's going to be a character piece.
He's like typecast into that super hard character piece that he can really dig and he's not doing like all the character work other than the lead. That's heavily going to take a lot of time. Yeah, I totally see that.
He only did like the one movie he did, which again is a brilliant movie, and he's fantastic in it, is Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it's like a blockbuster
film.
That's not a My Left Foot.
Yeah, and then he just went off, and then he transforms himself for Gangs of New York. I mean, that speech, by the way, in Gangs of New York is one of the greatest speeches of all time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. The only thing that I think would be annoying about working with him would be him in character all the time. Like, you're just at the craft service. Yeah, and you just have Bill the Butcher yelling at you. And you're like, look, can you pretend later?
I want that sandwich.
Yeah.
You have my sandwich.
It's pastrami. I said, shut up.
There's an extra eating the mac and cheese. Can you calm down?
An extra.
Sir.
Why are they there?
Have you ever done that? Have you ever dabbled in the method acting?
Kind of. I think it's bullshit, to be honest. I don't believe that, because it's like we're sitting here, right? There are cameras all around you. You can't forget that you're on set. You can't, because everyone says stop.
Yeah.
Right. You do your scene, then you stop. I mean, you can certainly. I trained as a boxer for over a year. Lived with boxers, did all that, and you can apply the mentality to it. That does help, but I don't believe in this. Like, you got to carry me from my wheelchair. I mean, it's great that he does, but also he has, like, especially with Daniel Day-Lewis, who I think is the greatest actor of all time by far. It really wears on you. It's a lot. I'm very much a believer in, like, Laurence Olivier, where the story about Dustin Hoffman running. He goes, "Try acting, darling."
Try acting.
Yes.
So I do think there's elements that when we did Black Hawk Down, which won 2 Oscars, by the way. I'm just saying, won 2 Oscars. When we did Black Hawk Down, we did train with the Army Rangers, so that really did help us, and we were all together, and we were like a cohesive unit, and that's why the majority of the people in that movie are still very good friends today.
Same thing with Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
They did like 2 months of boot camp training before that show.
Yeah.
And it like really bonded all of the actors together with that experience. So it's like it's less than than doing the method acting, because I feel like that always goes too far. Like you hear Jared Leto doing that stuff where he's like sending
he's just a weirdo.
dead rats and stuff, and he's like, I'm Joker off camera. And it's like,
No,
are you though? Like, no.
You're not the Joker on camera.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, but yeah, it's different when you're actually experiencing. It's the same thing when John Wick, where Keanu goes and trains every day for months to make sure he does the actions correctly, so they look like they're real, and they're not just I'm shooting a gun all over the place. I feel like that's like practical.
yeah, and some actors. Just to get a bit lovey about this, some actors do work from the outside in and some work from the inside out. So like Johnny Depp, from what I've heard, he works from the outside in. So he has to put all the gear on and then he sees himself becoming Jack Sparrow.
That makes sense. I feel like that's what would be it for me, is like once I'm finally in the makeup and the costume is kind of when that transformation would happen.
Yeah, and what he does, he says, didn't he say he was like a cross between Pepe Le Pew and something else, and that's how and Keith Richards.
Keith
And from I did Stanislavski method, like, so that's what I was trained in, and that's very much like growing from the inside out. But the truth of the matter is, when you're on set and they say to you, Marsden, stand there. There's an F-22 coming over. I need you to look up, watch it go over and say your line. You're not saying, hang on a second, let me get into character. You're like, I've got to do this. I've got to hit the mark and I've got to say it. And I think that's why, certainly with these big movies, you see a lot of British actors in there, because the British actors, because from the majority of us are trained in theatre, we know where we've got to hit the marks.
Yeah.
And it's just another thing that the director doesn't have to worry about.
Yeah. There's more of a blue collar, like this is, you do the job, you do the work. You hear Anthony Hopkins talk about it, where he's like, look, I'm doing a job. I'm not a person you need to all look to for my political opinions or whatever. I'm doing a job. I'm coming in, hitting my mark, saying the line, leaving.
Yeah, it's
like that. It is really like that blue collar mentality.
Well, because in the UK, you never get into acting to make a lot of money. You think you're going to be doing $250 a week at the community theatre.
Yeah.
And I remember when I very first came to Hollywood, I was like, you're going to pay me how much money? Like what? Like, it was literally it was unbelievable, because you'd never think that you would get those kind of dollars. So it very much is, as well, British actors are very much like, I'm so glad to be here. You know what I mean? I'm so glad to be working.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
good
when
thing.
you look at the American actors too that are better known for theater or started in theater, they did have that same idea, like Philip Seymour Hoffman, John C. Reilly. I mean, there's a lot of them that started in the theater that have the ability to do Denzel Washington. There's a whole bunch of them that, and they're much better actors, honestly. They're much, I shouldn't say better actors. There's something to a leading man or woman that there's a presence that you can't just make up. There's something about them that just draws you to them. And that's something that's absolutely special, which is why I think Demi Moore is so great in this, because she's getting a chance to be a character actor as opposed to just a star.
Yeah.
But if you watch somebody like Philip Seymour Hoffman, I was watching Before the Devil Knows You're Dead the other day that I hadn't seen in like 20 years. And Sidney Lumet directed it, as a phenomenal director. And I was watching that, you can just see like him as a leading man is kind of a risk. So it's him and Ethan Hawke, but he's able to fill out the job because he's so good at what he does. And I think that's very hard to go from that like theater actor to that star. You just don't see it as much in America, if you're American.
Yeah, but to give you your credit as well, I think that when stand-up, people that have gone and they've trod the boards and done all that, and they get their break and then they move into movies, that's why they're so successful, because they have that kind of, I'm going to work all day, right? Because I told you this the other day, Dave, that like when I did my degree in performing arts that I didn't finish, but the one thing that I was terrified of doing was stand-up. I do everything else. I was like, stand-up is so hard. It is like any person that could stand up in front of a crowd and tell jokes. that my hat goes off to them. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a miracle, you could say.
Oh,
I don't know how well that worked,
No,
but
it did.
Miracle Made sheets. Dave, I know you like them. I like them. Angela, you got a pair as well.
Yes, yeah.
We've all got them here. Miracle Made. They're beautiful sheets. Dave, tell the folks about them.
I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Miracle Made, the sheets that I love. Maybe at night your temperature gets a little bit much, or maybe it gets a little bit too cold. I don't know. This is temperature regulating. That means it makes you feel perfect as you fall asleep. They are inspired by NASA, and they're filled with some kind of magic silver elixir that makes you feel incredible. I don't know what they're weaved with, perhaps the hands of God. But I will tell you they are self-cleaning, and that means that these sheets don't have to be washed as often as your sheets, you dirty pig, because 99.7% of the bacterial growth on there is wicked away.
That's right.
Just by the sheets themselves.
gone.
That's the sound of wicking.
That's the sound of wicked away bacteria screaming for its life.
That's
Look
right.
at how comfortable she is.
So
She doesn't
comfortable.
even want to get up and audition. So if you don't want to sleep with a bunch of bacteria that clogs your pores and causes breakouts and acne, and also you don't want something that regulates your temperature, because that would be awful, then don't go to trymiracle.com/normal. And then don't get the sheets that are amazing and get 40% off, because you know so much. You think you're so good and smart about your sheets, but you don't even know. Till you go to trymiracle.com/normal, you can get 3 towels.
3 of them.
hand,
You're
face-
not going to know about that.
What?
No, you're not going to know about it because you're so great. Hand, face, towel. You're going to get all of them up in there, as well as the pillowcases. You're going to be snug
right.
as a bug in a rug without any bugs on you, because there's no bacteria up on them sheets, son. You hear me? You hear me?
Yes.
We hear you. I hope you hear us out there. 40% off. Thank you so much, Miracle.
And on top of those sheets, maybe you could put a cover up. No, okay, it didn't work.
no,
That
well,
one didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was okay. Cover Up. It's a documentary put out by The Blaze. It's part 3, I believe.
4.
Part 4.
Yes.
Part 4. The Cover Up. It's about COVID and Fauci being a total asshole. So go check it out.
It's going to be FauciCoverUp.com/normal and use code SMOKINGGUN for $30 off on Blaze TV.
Yeah.
So our code murders beagles.
Yes. Cuts their throats so they can't scream. Fauci.
.com.
/normal.
Don't worry, he's only killing beagles and slicing their throats so you don't get a cold.
Yeah. Or you do.
Yeah,
On
actually,
purpose.
you do get it.
On purpose.
It actually destroys your immune system, and then you get sicker.
Yeah. Matt, thanks so much for being on the show. It's always great having you on here.
Well, thank you for
Great
having
insight.
me. It's always lovely to be here.
Dave.
It's always good talking to you. You're very interesting. You are.
I'll take it. All right. Most people say I'm extremely boring and tell me to go away.
I
So
doubt
What the
that
heck?
very much.
I
Those
don't think
people
that's
like
true.
the first Transformers. How dare you?
I know.
Dave, where can people find you if they want to see you in the real life?
They can see me this week at Black Garrett's Comedy Club, and then the 22nd at the Roxy. What about you?
They can find me on my personal channels, Quarter Black Garrett and Nega Garrett. One's for videos, one's for live streaming, and I live stream on Sundays. Angela?
Yes, I saw your fast food video.
It was
I
a
was watching
silly
a little
game.
bit of it. Yeah, it looked fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I am on YouTube as Angela Does Horror, and I'm on Instagram as Normal Angela.
And go subscribe to Matthew Marsden
Matthew
on
D. Marsden.
Matthew D.
YouTube.
Marsden. Thank
Go
you.
subscribe.
Yes.
Dave?
I'm
want
going to bring
to-
us to the end of the world. I'm going to do a pop-up question.
Ooh, a surprise one. Off the cuff.
Wow, I don't know what you're talking about, Angela. They're all off the cuff. Dave?
That's right. Then by surprise, I mean new. Let's take a look at the Best Picture list,
Okay.
or the actor list, or actress list. Who do you want to win, and for what?
Genuine question. Answer is going to be Timothée Chalamet because I think he's a really good actor for either Dune, or the other film. I haven't seen the other film, but he was really good in Dune.
I'm
but for a joke, Amelia Perez.
Okay. I'm also going to say Timothée Chalamet in The Substance.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like Dune to win Best Picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
And Dave?
I'm going to say Carrot Top for chairman of the board.
If only.
Spelled B-O-R-E-D, right?
That's the best clip.
Do something with that.
Yes.
Norm is the best.
He's the best. Yeah.
Miss you, Norm.
See y'all tomorrow.
R.I.P.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.